pivot tables. Instead of having a single temporal column, I'm going to teach how to calculate the columns for the year, the month, the day, and the hour, and pre-process them to obtain a summary table, a pivot table for each of the categories in the temporal columns. The first step we have to do is to transform the object into a data frame. That is, instead of having it this way, which is a series, we need to convert it to this other format, which is a data frame. Therefore, using the toFrame function, we'll execute it and now have it in that format. We create a variable dfPapSolar. And now, every time we look at the variable, we have the temporal series in a data frame. Now we're going to create new columns with the temporal information. And within the data frame, we access the index. And since we already have it as a datetime type, we can directly tell it to give us the associated year. To pass the new data to a column of the original data frame, we're going to use the assign function. Enter, and we tell it that the new column will be called year. And we pass the data we just calculated. Execute, and now we have the new column here. We would do the same for the month and for the hour. Execute, and now we have the new columns with the temporal information, instead of having everything in a single line. It looks a bit messy there. Let's hit enter and organize the code to make it more readable. Execute, and you see we have the same result. However, be careful, because if we call dfSolar again, we will only have one column because we haven't reassigned the variable. To better distinguish these lines of code, I would recommend surrounding all this with parentheses, which, if you don't have it activated, you should go to Settings and enable Auto Close Brackets. And now, if you surround the entire selection, put the first parenthesis, it also puts it on both sides. And if you want to make it super professional, the ideal is to leave the data frame, the assign function, at the beginning, with a space and below the parentheses. Execute. And now, when we call dfSolar, we see the rest of the columns. Once we have the columns with which we're going to make the pivot table, we're going to process that table with dfSolar. We use the pivot table function, which initially asks us for values within the data frame, which is the column by which I want to aggregate the data. That is, which is the column that has the numerical values to which I want to apply the sum or the average or any other metric. In this case, the column is photovoltaic solar. We pass it, and now it's going to ask us for the index, which in this case is what unique values in one of the columns do you want to show in each of the rows of the resulting data frame. In our case, each of the hours from 0 to 23. Therefore, we tell it in the index that we want the hour column. And finally, in the columns, we're going to want first to show the year and then the month. Therefore, we tell it. Not placing year, comma, month, as I see many novices do at the beginning, because in this case, we would be indicating that the next parameter is the month. And really, the aggregation function is asking us for the mathematical function we want to apply to the values. If we want to use two columns in the same parameter, we have to place them inside a bracket, separated by a comma. Now, in the aggregation function, I want it to return the total energy generation. That's why I ask for the sum, just as we did before to make the code more readable. Let's give it a line break, execute, and here we have the same result. Let's save the result in a variable. In this case, I like to call it dff as the final data frame, and it's shorter to write. Execute, and when I call def here, we have the table. However, if I want to see all the values, we can use the style instance. And here there's quite a bit of work to do because many decimals appear. The values even reach hundreds of thousands. And we would like to see the heat map to see in which time intervals there is a greater presence of solar generation. Therefore, let's go one at a time within style, which, if you noticed, is an instance, can continue applying functions. In this case, there's one called format that formats each of the values. If I give it the precision parameter, I can tell it to put 0 decimals. And when I execute, I already see the values without any decimals. In turn, I can continue applying functions to the style, and I can indicate one that tells me background gradient, which is to give a background color to each cell based on its value. If I execute by default, it comes out blue because it's the color set in the first parameter. But I could also change it, for example, to orange by putting the name in English and with an S. It would also work if I wanted to put it in green or any other color. To make the code more readable, we surround it with parentheses. We start to give it line breaks according to their order in the function. Execute again. We see that the code still gives the same result. And now let's see what else we can change. For example, instead of having all the information in hundreds of thousands, why not divide by 1000 and see if we can make the data clearer? Here, be careful because the divide function cannot be applied to the style. I have to do it in the pure data frame that I have before. So, I look for the divide function and tell it that I want to divide by 1000, execute. And here we see the information more clearly. As an extra, instead of having the time slots from 0 to 23, as this is photovoltaic solar generation. The sun isn't present during the early morning hours in Spain. Therefore, we could locate the data frame by separating rows and columns with a comma. I want all the columns, all the months in this case. So I put colons, but for the hours I only want from 6 onwards. So here we place 6 to 22. Then after the colons I indicate 22, execute. And here we have a compact table where we clearly see that solar generation in the summer months starts even at 8 in the morning, while in winter it barely does. And in the afternoon, clearly, from 6 in the winter, hardly any energy is produced with the sun, while in summer it continues to generate energy significantly even until 9 at night. By the way, the data, now that we've divided by, are not in megawatt hours, but in gigawatt hours. That is the sum of all generation at 8 among all the days of each month. I hope you are making the most of the course and applying what you are learning in your specific cases so that you are professional with programming. And if you have any doubts, any feedback or suggestions, let me know in the comments. And thus, we make this course better and more valuable, and that you use it to boost your professional career. So, nothing guys, a hug and keep moving forward. There are many things to learn in terms of time series, and surely it will contribute a lot to your day-to-day. Greetings and go for it.